Hello!
How you doing? Yeah. It seems like it's been ages.
It has been, Matt.
Has
Far
it?
too long. All right,
Yeah.
can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Yeah?
yeah. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I've
Not
just
too
put my
bad.
eyes on. I can't really see without my eyes.
How's work going? Have you been at work today? Have you been busy?
Oh, so today, so Friday's the office closed. We work from home. But
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
I've not stopped. You know, I don't know if you do this, but all week, because obviously it's my first full week this week, full
Yeah.
time. I kept banking everything up, thinking, oh, I'll read that on Friday. I'll read that on Friday, because I'm at home and it's quiet. So I had like that much of reading to do today. And then, of course, the emails don't stop, do they? Just because you're working from home, the emails keep coming. So I've just been,
Constant
God,
flow.
yeah, it's been a heck of a week, I have to say. So if I look tired and I got greasy hair, there's a reason.
I'm sure we kind of understand that. I especially do as well. So yeah, I was kind of explaining before I saw your name come up in chat. Without going in too much, like obviously you're a great friend of being on here and of me and stuff. We've kind of known you for obviously quite a while now. I don't know how long. Obviously with Chris Netzel around and
Yeah.
originally. So
I miss
um,
this.
yeah, I know. So do I. I kind of catch him on sometimes at like 2 o'clock in the morning and things like that and stuff. He's doing well. He's doing
Hi,
okay.
Kathleen.
So, yeah. So yeah, thanks
Oh.
to everyone that's coming and joining us as well. As I was explaining before, there's going to be some people here that obviously know you really well. Others that I think will probably be the very first time they've ever seen you, heard you, and heard what kind of your experiences are and things as well. To be brief, kind of, I want to get the Fridays back. It might have to be sort of every other week at the minute, something like that. But welcome, because you're our first one back on the relaunch, really.
Love
Um,
that. Love that.
yeah, no. So I mean, it kind of had to be. There's, and I know as well people like Kathleen and things like that as well. It's always good to catch up with different people on here because you've all really been great at just building a really good community on here. And it's been a bit of an adventure for all of us, really, isn't it? I think.
Yeah, I think you've created a really special community. I hope you don't mind me saying that
I do.
because even sort of all these years on and everybody's life, or not everybody, but some of us, our lives have changed.
Yeah.
It's just great that it's a safe space. Sometimes I just watch from the background and you don't know, and I think
Mm.
that's fine because, it's what it is. And other times I'll come in and I'll engage. Hi, Brandy. And so, yeah, Matt, I mean, all credit to you. You've created a really great community, haven't you? Which, yeah, I'm
No,
really, really happy to be part of.
honestly, we all have, and that's the biggest thing. We've all been part of that, and it like I know you've spent a lot of time on here as well. The biggest thing is that we just press that button, and then people come in, and thankfully, I think we've attracted really nice people and really groups.
Yeah, yeah. Well, there's been some unsavory characters over the years, but we've some got rid, haven't we?
Yeah, no, and Brandy's been a big part of that as well. Who's in chat, so he does a good job at that. Same as what
Yeah.
as well.
Brandy, Brandy with the biscuits. Oh, I really miss the Friday night stuff. It's good to
Yeah.
be back. It's really
Well,
good to be back.
the good thing is, hopefully, we might juggle the time around a little bit to see what suits most people. But the good thing is we can do it a little bit earlier as well because I'm not kind of restricted
Yeah,
on American
yeah.
time, so it'll work.
Yeah. I know, but you did it later, didn't you? Because of the American connection and getting Chris and the USA guys in, you
Yeah,
know?
and it is. Do you know what? I've got some great friends over there that I really do have to meet sometime as well, and hopefully, now hopefully it is a bit of the middle time where we can kind of catch people there and other places as
Yeah,
well.
yeah. So how's Matt anyway? Is Matt good?
Yeah, I'm all good. I was just going to say though, this isn't about me; it's about you.
No, I love it when it's
Uh,
about me.
and we got the dun 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 honest hour. So
Ah.
think of that what you will, really.
An honest hour. So what is it that you want?
Well, really, with yourself, it's kind of a hello, a catch up. And
Yeah.
I know as well, if it's okay, I know we've done this a few times, but there will be people in here that sort of haven't seen and heard of you before. And he's done it again, hasn't he?
Spudhead.
Yeah, he's an old chip.
Brandy, don't do it on me because I don't want to be a spudhead.
So yeah, if you don't mind, would you be able to kind of just give a brief kind of, explanation of what's been going on for you over the years and how?
Oh, thank you, Brandy. Oh, I had a crown, you had a potato.
Oh, no.
This is a sign of the times.
It's a
Yeah, so yeah, guys, those of you who don't know and those who are listening without coming into the room, that's absolutely fine as well. Matt does this regularly. He's just relaunched it tonight. Fantastic opportunity for us all to support each other, really. And that is where I want to start. So was it three years ago? I stumbled across Matt doing a mental health live similar to this, just chatting to people. Matt's got a lot of mentoring experience with mental health and just general life coaching. I hope it's all right to say that because you're quite balanced in everything, really, aren't you?
Try to be.
Yeah, and at the time I thought I was floating around TikTok having fun and being harmless. Little did I know I was in self-destruct mode. I would only come live if I'd had wine or other alcoholic beverages, and I'd stay live then until early hours of the morning because I was chatting to people all around the world, which is great when you've had a drink, isn't it? Because you don't realise what you're doing, what you're saying, you've got no control. And really, I was just fueling an addiction, which I can see that now. But this was the starting point when I stumbled across Matt and the team that are here tonight, where I started to realise what I was doing and that it was not the right way to be doing socialising and using the platform that way. So it took me probably, I would say, a good year or so, Matt. Would you agree?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think. Yeah, no.
I remember one of the first ones when you said to me, well, what do you like as a hobby? What do you enjoy? And I said, I love swimming. I can remember this because I went and wrote a post-it note. And you said, well, what about we'll start off with you try and go swimming next week, just once.
Yeah.
You were trying to get me to break the cycle of lying in bed every day and drinking every night. And I'd write it down and I'd be really motivated, but I'd have too much of a hangover when the day came and I couldn't face it. And that's the reality. But I remember all of this. Brandy remembers it. And I think you tried again where you said, okay, well, that didn't work this time. Let's try it again. And that happened a few times. And I think it was then I realised, oh, this is all me. This is me. I'm the one with the problem here. I'm taking advice from somebody and I'm not really doing anything about it. And I think that whole process went on for probably a good year. And then, so it's just under, this is the good news, it'll be 2 years in April that I started work. All right, so we're not even at 2 years yet. And I just woke up one day, usually like in the evening because I slept all day, as you know, and thought, staring at the wall in the bedroom, thinking, I can't continue like this. I just can't. I was existing. I had no motivation, no dreams, nothing to aspire to. I wasn't eating. I had very poor diet. I was feeding myself with, I shouldn't say alcohol, should I? Alcoholic beverages. That was my food, really. Self-destruction mode, 100%. I was having no fresh air. I was locking my door. I wasn't answering my phone. So I completely isolated myself away from the world. And I was feeling sorry for myself because I have dealt with some, there are a few trauma things in there, which I'm happy to talk about as well. And it's okay. What I realise now is okay to have that self-pity and self-doubt and downtime, but you just don't stay there. You know, and I was stuck there. I was stuck there. And then, so yeah, I just decided before I talk about the good stuff, obviously prior to all of that, the background in a nutshell was that I had a beautiful husband, lovely little family life, 2 daughters. You know, we'd have 1 annual holiday a year, but it was always abroad. We had fairly good income, a nice detached house in a good area, a car each. You know, life was great.
Yeah.
It couldn't be any better, you know, and we were very happy. I was married for 15 years, and unfortunately, Aid was my husband's name. He passed away very suddenly, and it was a very traumatic experience, which even now, I say it like it's, you know, rolls off the tongue. I still sometimes don't take it in, if that makes sense, but I've learnt to it's happened, isn't it? It's 12 years ago. And I've kind of, yeah, it's there. I do have to have therapy now and again because it keeps coming back up, you know, how it happened and all of the situation around it. But yeah, in a nutshell, all my life changed and it was dramatic. It was literally overnight. As you know, you go to bed one night, you wake up the next day and your life is gone. That is literally as it was. And I'm sure there's lots of people that experience this, you know, and maybe not through a death, maybe through other, you know, circumstances. Sadly, it was only 2 years after that loss that I met somebody else. And I think I was trying to fill a hole and fill a gap, and I fell in love, hook, line and sinker. I was besotted with this man. Oh, thank you. Was that a gift? Oh, I can't see you was doing gifts. Oh, Brandy, thank you. It's a big heart. Thank you so much. If I don't say thank you, please don't think I'm being rude. I appreciate every single thing, but you don't have to gift either. We're here to chat and talk and share experiences and support one another. So yes, so I met this man and fell hook, line and sinker, and unfortunately I married him, and within 5 years my world was turned upside down again because he was taken away. I don't know what I can say on here, but the gentleman that I'm talking about, gentleman is a polite word, by the way. I was wife number 3 and he was on the run from up north with a different name. But of course, you don't know all of that when you're wrapped up in the love triangle thingy, dear. So he was convicted of horrific offences when they caught up with him. I believed this man was innocent, and I sold my family home, broke my daughter's hearts. They were both lived independently at this point. But this was the home that we had grown up in, and the children were, you know, it was our home. Yeah. Nothing more needs to be said, does it? That is the biggest regret of my life. And yes, this guy, I mean, I spent over £40,000 on his legal fees, and he's gone away for a very long time, thankfully. And I still supported him when he was there, and I went to visit him, and I tried to get an appeal for him, and I paid for it all. So I was going through quite a lot of emotional turmoil with this individual and not really seeing the wood for the trees. I did, you know, a few people were saying to me, red flag, what are you doing? But this individual that I'm talking about also isolated me away from people. He kept me to himself. He knew what he was doing, essentially. Unfortunately, these kind of people, you know, they're very manipulative, and it happens, doesn't it? It's just, I stumbled across him at a very vulnerable, low point in my life. If I stumbled across him now, as I am today, I wouldn't even look at him. I wouldn't even turn my head. Do you know what I mean? It's me. It was me at that time. I'm very low, very vulnerable. Go on, Matt. Did you want to say something about that?
No.
Oh, okay.
Matt, no, not at all. It's like, even hearing you speaking about it now, really, it just brings up a lot of feelings for myself, because obviously, you know, it reminds me of the very first time that you told me about all of those things. And I think what we'll go on to hopefully in a bit is what you kind of learned from all of that and what has happened to you since.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
to kind of hear you talking about that again, it's bringing up memories of conversations that we had on here. And I hope you don't mind me saying, but there was one evening or morning that really stuck in my mind was when I kind of was just flicking through my phone as we all do on here, through different lives and things. And I think I caught you sort of still on about 6:30 one morning, and you'd obviously been up all night and stuff. And
Yeah, joking. Yeah.
yeah, and I'll never forget that evening because I think um, I don't. It was the lowest. I hope you don't mind what I'm saying. It was the lowest that I'd seen you sort of on here,
Okay.
and like, and I'm kind of guessing that that probably wasn't the lowest moment that you had, really.
No,
And you
no,
know,
no,
and
no.
that I always get
Yeah.
kind of always remember that evening, but the difference between that morning from then to like now, and how I've seen that progression is just amazing. It's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
yeah, no, but
You're
sorry.
part of that, Matt. I mean, I've obviously put a lot of work into that. I'm not denying I haven't, but you've also helped in that process, as of everybody else that, in our little community that we've got, and another community that I joined.
Mm,
So yeah, when, it was literally 2 years ago around this time when I was really fed up of, so yeah, about the guy that went away for a long time.
mhm,
Suddenly I don't know what's wrong with me. Suddenly something just clicks in my head and I'm on it. And
yeah,
suddenly I just woke up one day, I'll just say it like this, and thought, I don't want to speak to him today because he was ringing me 4 times a day. It was really dragging me down, ringing me from a cell. I
mhm,
wouldn't leave the house. He was my excuse to be here, ready to take the call. But it was all self-destruction stuff. It wasn't him. That's my issue. I should have dealt with that my way. But I just woke up one day and thought, I don't want to speak to him. And when he rang, I said, can you just give me a little bit of space and don't ring me, please?
yeah,
And then those days, as the days went by, the stronger I got, the wider my eyes became. And then I started speaking to family members, like taking their calls. And then I started to see a little bit of the light through the trees, and thinking, this is crazy. And then suddenly, and he didn't try ringing me or try contacting me, which told me something as well. He'd realised at that point, oh my gosh, this is it. No fight for me, because he'd had other women and he didn't need to fight for me. And then suddenly, I think it was, I don't know how long, it was a good few months where that went on. I got a bit stronger, and then, yes, we're at 2 years ago, and my divorce had just come through. So I felt free. I was back to my name. I felt, oh, this is good. And then I just thought, I don't want to live here, literally drinking all through the night from, say, 7 till early hours in the morning, even breakfast time. I know I used to be live when people come on. I'm ashamed of that, but also, I'm not going to lie about it. I'm going to be, well, it's honest hour, isn't it? It's not my finest moment in life, but I made some lovely friends through that, like Bon in Canada. Bon comes over and I see Bon from time to time. And so I just decided I was going to apply for a little job, and in a community council where I live. It was only 3 days. I thought I'm way overqualified for it because I've got all my qualifications, my experience, and I've always had quite high-powered local government jobs, and I had been a business consultant. So when I went for the job, I knew it was no responsibility, very easy job, admin, go in, do a few project things, come out. When I went to the interview, I was really nervous. I think I messaged you and said, I got the interview. I've been called for interview. And I was shocked. And the reason why I say that is because during those years where I'd be led in bed, literally just drinking at night and sleeping all day, I mean, they were 2 unaliving attempts where I was hospitalised. I literally didn't want to be here, had nothing to give, nothing to motivate me. I didn't think I was employable. I thought I was finished. for
Yeah.
years. You know, for 3 years I was finished. And so when I got called for an interview, I got nervous, but I had that adrenaline rush that I clearly thrive on. And I got the job and I couldn't believe it. I remember messaging you saying, I got a job. And it was just mad. And I started it and I loved it. And I've been there, well, it'll be 2 years now in April. But through that, well, just under 2 years, I've obviously grown so much in my ability and my strength and my confidence and my self-awareness. And I've done some therapy on myself because in that time I've also finished obviously a psychology degree. And the head of the council job come up and I went for it and I've got that now and I started that this week. And that I say it with a huge smile on my face because I am super proud, but also I love it. I love where I work. I love the people I work with. It's a very small council, but I'm back. So I feel like I'm back to where I was before I met that man.
Yeah.
In my career, in my health. So when I decided to stop drinking, I didn't just stop because you can't do that. That's dangerous. I went and spoke to my GP. They offered me, a program. I said, no, I just want to cut it down. So I cut it down, stopped completely. So I don't drink now in the house on my own. I'll drink if I'm out like socially, but to be honest, I might have one or two and I just don't look for it. And I don't know what did that. I really don't. I can't answer that. It baffles me to this day, but I love it. I love it. I love the fact that I can go out for a night, I'll have a couple of glasses of wine, I'll come home and I'll have a cup of tea. Whereas, I would have come home and I would have gone on the vodka or the gin.
Yeah.
It's a very, very different lifestyle that I'm having and I'm absolutely thriving on it. I love not being reliant on alcohol. I love it. I feel free as a bird. I can drive anywhere whenever I want to. I mean, that's amazing. I love that. Plus, I don't have the headaches, the hangovers. I'm not on. So the other thing I did was I went through my GP and said I want to wean off all my antidepressants, all my sleeping tablets, all my anxiety pills, because I'd been on them for years since I lost Aid. They just kept increasing them every time I went back, but I wasn't doing therapy, so it was almost like it's putting a plaster over the problem, isn't it? And I learned all of that when I did the psychology degree, obviously. And my GP, they were amazing, so I weaned off all meds. So I am currently sat here talking to you on a live with greasy hair, been in work full-time all week, right? No alcohol, no medication, that feels amazing, Matt. I cannot tell you how happy I am to say that tonight.
No, that's brilliant. And I think I remember the message when you sort of said about, reducing and coming off of your medication and things. And I think you spoke about it on a bit of a live on here as well one evening. And as normal, we have to be really careful on kind of advising people and things around there. So I know, and I remember saying something similar to, I'd always encourage anybody to kind of find alternatives around medications, but we always have to go back to our doctors and do it with their help and support if we're kind of looking at coming off and advice and stuff. But there's always that little bit of sort of a thing in my mind as well, as when somebody is making a change that they're kind of desperate to make, and medication is something that's part of that change, and the advice is right. It's the right advice to give to people, because it has got to be thought of really carefully and it's got to be done really carefully as well. But I think that was another moment when I spoke to you where I thought, no, Kath's having, she's making changes here. You can just tell with people when they've kind of had enough and they want to change things for themselves. And
the bit I'd like to explore going forward, because obviously my journey doesn't stop there, does it? It's going to carry on for the next 40 years, hopefully. And even saying that is lovely, because I didn't want to be another year here, and now I can't wait for the next 30, 40 years. When I jumped on that plane and did my first solo trip, I was absolutely petrified. I thought, what are you doing, woman? And again, I'm going to have to let Yogi go out because he's yapping at the door. Can you hear him?
Yeah.
Like, I know it's easy to sit and say, out of your comfort zone, push yourself. I know, right, how easy it is to say that, but how hard that is to hear when you're not there mentally. But for some reason, something a bit like the divorce and I don't want to be with him anymore, something in my head just said, enough. And I was able, and I'm very, very lucky and fortunate that I had the strength and the willpower to do it. Not everybody has that. But I didn't do it alone. I opened up to you and other people. I took on as much support as I could to get me through that. And that's the beauty of things like this, isn't it? This is why I always say to you, thank you. And you always say, no, it's not me, it's you. You did it. But it was your group that made me realise, and your chat made me realise how crap my life was. And I was to blame, not blame, that's the wrong word, but it was down to me that it was crap.
Yeah, I know what you're because I know what you're saying there, but it's not without. It's we've all
I know,
got.
I know,
We've all got that
circumstantial. It wasn't my fault,
responsibility and,
but
yeah.
turning to alcohol was not the answer because my father was always an alcoholic. So I know, I grew up knowing the signs, and as you know, I'm quite intelligent. I got a bit of education behind me, so I know what I shouldn't and should have been doing, and I knew it then, but I just couldn't break the cycle. I couldn't do it, and that's the biggest area that I'd love to give answers to, and I don't know them. I just woke up and thought, I'm not doing this, and it just it improved from there on, didn't it? But so the bit about moving on and the rest of the journey, I also realise I'm not always going to be this happy, and I really am happy. I love my job and the situation I'm in at the moment. And I know that things will happen in life as they do for everybody else. You have losses, don't you? And all kinds of things. My mum's getting older and there's concern there, etc. And she is my best friend. But in my head, and this is the self-awareness and the self-belief stuff that's really, really important. And that came from building up slowly, didn't it? Trying a little thing and then growing it, but trying a bit and growing it. Now I know that when I start to dip in mood, or I feel like my diet, I'm losing appetite, or, if I fancy drinking in the house on my own, those signs, I'll be straight down to the GP and saying, look, I think I'm on a blip here. I'm not sure, but I'm not going back where I was. I'm not.
No.
And that self-awareness is really, really important, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. And there's so many questions really that what you've said kind of brings up. But sticking with that one sort of at the minute as well, that kind of comment there, really, it really is like, I know I've shared a little bit of my past on the earnings as well. We've all had kind of lives and things happen to us and stuff. So about 15 years ago now, I went through a bit of a bad year or 2 years, where I kind of experienced panic attacks for the first time during that, although I'd worked in that area for years as well. And I wouldn't have kind of wished that experience on anybody. I wouldn't have chosen to kind of be in that situation myself, obviously. But I learned the biggest lessons through it, even though it was like a year to 2 year sort of block. And you really learn how to look after yourself and what you're made up of, because beforehand you might think you're invincible if you're quite young and things as well. You don't really think about the things that we do as we kind of start getting older and stuff either. But I know I don't always stick rigidly to the things that I should be doing to bring the best out of myself, as like proper exercise and diet and things like that and stuff. But what I am aware of is the feelings or the signs, as in, I'm not having particularly a great day today, so I'll put certain things in place to kind of look after myself and put the energy back in the tank, really, rather than just giving it away all the time. And I know you mentioned there about, similar thing, as in if there's any signs that you'd be back to the GP.
Yeah.
Have you kind of picked up on other feelings that you have of where you sort of think, I just need to do something a little bit different today for me? Or
Yes. Yeah.
yeah,
So, like previously, on an anniversary, like Aid's birthday or Aid's death, I find Christmas, Easter, Mother's Day, all of those things very, very difficult anyway. So obviously my daughters are grown up. I am a grandmother, but unfortunately not met them yet. And I'm saying yet because I am adamant it's going to happen. I mean, I'm not blocked on things now, and I do get to see things which I'm so grateful for. And I don't want to go into it because obviously it's very sensitive. And I want to protect the girls' rights to their privacy, and I need to respect their privacy on that. So, you know, I'm fully to blame for the whole situation with those two. I've done the apologies a million times. It will change one day. So the only thing, I mean, if the girls and my grandbabies were to come into my life, that would absolutely complete me. I mean, my mum keeps saying until the day she's not going anywhere until that happens. And it will happen. It's a time factor, isn't it? There's been a lot of hurt, and I need to prove, and this is my mission, to prove that I am doing what I said I was going to do. I got off the drink, I got off the meds, I got myself a job, I'm buying my house back because I sold this house to pay his appeal. I just bought a new car today. I mean, yeah, I'm fully self-sufficient again. Bearing in mind I've always been a high-powered, career-driven person. For 4 years, I had to claim universal credit because I couldn't get out of bed. And imagine what that did to me mentally. Like, I hated it. But that's what it's there for. It's a welfare system for people who have blips in life. And I needed it at that time. But I have slowly chipped away, and it's all coming back to me. My house, the car, everything. So the girls and all of that will come at some point. You can't buy that, can you? It's a time factor and a trust. They need to see that what I'm saying I'm sticking to. So, like I said, it's nearly 2 years now, and it's only getting stronger and stronger. So, yeah, I mean, it is, you're right, Brandy, it's all steps in the right direction. I'm determined I'm not going backwards, but I do accept, like, when I get down days, and I do get them, like, last weekend, because I'm starting full-time this week, I had a day in bed on Saturday.
Yeah.
Because I thought, well, I'm going to just be kind to myself. I was a bit nervous. I was anxious. I was, feeling a bit sad because I was thinking, oh, God, full-time, what if I can't do it? You self-doubt, don't you?
Yeah.
And I thought, I'm just going to just chill. I'm going to do my own thing and let my body just... And I did that, and I went on TikTok, and I didn't do anything. I wasted a whole day.
Yeah.
But Sunday, by lunchtime, I was up. I was as bright as a button, ironing my clothes, getting them ready for the week, cleaned the house through, went and did a shop, and that's the difference, isn't it? It's okay to have a day feeling sorry, and maybe I'll cry, whatever it is you need to do, but don't stay there, And if I felt it was going to be 2 days or 3 days, I would reach out to a support network of some kind, because I'm so determined not to go back to that. But that self-awareness is really important, isn't it? You said the same thing.
No, definitely. I think those cycles as well, like what you said, really, if you then get caught up in that cycle of, one day in bed turns into two, and then two turns into phoning in sick on a Monday and a Tuesday. That's when it's then starts causing a problem. But but what I was going to get to, I'll kind of get to the finishing first before explaining the other bit, is that when people give themselves that bit of time, they might not understand why their body is kind of going, I can't be bothered today to get up or to get out or to get a wash or anything like that. And the next day we can feel really guilty for that, and then really punish ourselves and feel really bad for the day we've wasted or the couple of days we've wasted before. What I'd encourage anybody to do is to kind of look back at the potential reasons why that might have happened, of where you needed it, where you needed a bit of a break, where your body needed a bit of a break, your head needed a bit of a break, and you needed to put that energy back in the tank. and not punish yourself for having a bit of a break.
Yeah.
Even if it does turn into a longer thing there, where hopefully people will kind of gain a bit of support and help and things, is not to kind of punish yourself, because it just keeps you in that cycle of going round and round, and
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
feeling guilty, thinking, oh, what have I done? End up laying in bed for another day and things. But it makes sense as well, because when you look and go back a bit, then it makes sense because of all the changes that you've had and starting a new job and all the energy that takes, putting the effort in, learning a new job, getting involved, meeting new people, having to explain perhaps some things to new people as well that don't know you and stuff like that. It all takes energy and time. So even without knowing why you might feel that you need a day in bed, or you're going to have a day in bed, we might not always understand it either, but it's really important to listen to ourselves sometimes and just allow ourselves to have a break, especially if you've had a busy time like yourself. Hi, Squishy.
Yeah. And I like Brandy saying there, he feels like that's what's happening to him right now. That's absolutely fine, isn't it? And we're all human, and it's okay to have that downtime. Just don't stay there. And if you feel you can't get up, then it's time to reach for support somehow, And support doesn't have to be formal. It can be, a message in a TikTok group like this. And I know when I've been really down, sometimes if I've just messaged you, Matt, something you've said back to me has been enough for me to think, yeah, I can do this. I can get up today, that kind of thing. And we've all got somebody, haven't we? Whether it's a friend or a TikTok associate or a colleague or, whatever it is. Brandy, thank you so much. You're so supportive.
That was the one thing. Unfortunately, we was never able to do it on here for some reason. I think Chris would play it and then it would cut him off. But when we used to do this years ago on other platforms, he'd always play the. It's a military thing of an American military like commander who talks about make your bed in the morning. Simple thing of just getting up and making your bed. And I know Chris will still say it now. If get up in the morning, make your bed.
Yeah. Do you know, I used to hate that though. I used to hate it because I used to think, if only I could, because I couldn't do that. No. Do you know what helps me now? And Brandy, this might help you. The 5-second rule.
Yeah.
So I'll be laid in bed. Like this happened to me on Sunday. I'm in bed. I'm comfy. I'm warm. I don't really want to get up, but I had things to do.
Yeah.
And I thought, perhaps I'll just stay. But it's been a waste of a day, and I would have felt guilty and beat myself up. So I did the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I went, right, come on, shift your ass, woman. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, up. And I just jumped up. Yeah. And I still do that, and it sounds ridiculous, but it is so effective because it's so quick.
Yeah.
No, you don't have time to think about it. You just go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, up.
It's like a fast affirmation, really, or fast command to yourself. It is, and it's a really useful tip. For anyone that might make use of that at the moment, it is.
Well, I definitely do, because I know if I start scrolling on TikTok, I'll be another 2 hours laid in bed, because it just goes, doesn't it? Yeah. You lose 2 hours so easily.
What would you say is the biggest thing that you've kind of learned? I know if I'd asked you this question at different times, I think the answer would have been different as well. But what do you feel like the biggest thing is that you've learned from the experience up to date that you've kind of had? Either about yourself or...
Well, I mean, it's hard, but if anyone's listening, I mean, I don't think I could have got any lower, Matt. I wasn't washing, wasn't getting out of bed, wasn't eating. I didn't see daylight, so I had a deficiency for the vitamin, and I had to have medication for it. I was covered in psoriasis because I wasn't medicating my skin, and I suffer with that, and stress obviously antagonized it. I cut off people, family, friends, so I lost people, which made the whole situation worse. All of that, and I 2 attempts where I was hospitalized. I really, really couldn't see it was ever going to change. Couldn't get off that hamster wheel. Didn't know what to do, even though people were telling me. I just couldn't make my bed of a morning. I couldn't get out of it and make it. I couldn't even do that. That sounds crazy now. I look back and I think, how was that? And I've chatted to my mum and my friends and my sister about this, like, since I've been in work. And they all said they can't believe I'm how I am, because they thought they'd be coming to a funeral. They
Yeah,
had all accepted my life was over,
yeah.
which is sad. I mean, that's horrific, isn't it?
It's terrible, isn't it?
And
Yeah.
then and so my biggest thing in all of it is, if you can come from that, not necessarily to as high and as happy as I'm feeling, but it's just proof that small, tiny steps build. It's the ladder, isn't it? Or the mountain, and the one step takes you to the 50th.
Yeah.
You can only do one at a time. I didn't stop. I didn't do all of it all in once. I built. It's all in increments. Even if somebody had said that to me 2 years ago or 3 years ago, I still wouldn't have. I would have thought, yeah, lucky you. That's not going to happen to me.
Yeah, I think but it like and that works in so many areas of life. Whether it's like using smart goals or whatever, really. In sport and things like that, I'm forever talking about the other name, like trunking, of like cutting down into small segments, that
Yeah.
bigger goal and things.
Yeah.
And it's so important, because otherwise things just look overwhelming, don't they? They feel
Yeah.
overwhelming as well, because it's just huge otherwise.
I think the be kind to yourself thing is also important. So, like with Brandy now, he's not having a great time at the minute, and he's already said he's thinking about having a day in bed or whatever last week, or I can't remember the wording, but so what? That was last week. Tomorrow, in a few hours' time, we got a brand new day, And I know when I was feeling pretty low, if somebody had said that, I would have thought, yeah, well, I don't see it like that, do I? So I understand it's all right for people who are doing good in life and well to sit and say these things. But when you're in the depths of you can't see it, none of these things really mean much. They didn't to me, really. I had to process it in my own head, in my own space, and then eventually something clicked, and I thought, "Oh, I'm not doing this anymore. I need to make a change."
Yeah.
I don't. I honestly, I'm baffled by my own mind sometimes, how I switched from one to another.
Yeah. A lot of time it can feel really quick, but it's like a chain of those small little things that just
Yeah.
gradually
Yeah.
feed that seed, really, until it grows.
Yeah.
And I think again, really the experience that I had years ago, that came from grief and losing a couple of people and stuff. But during that time, I had those comments of just pull your socks up, from people who I never expected to have those comments from. Just
I know.
just get yourself together. And the thing is, I know now, looking back, I know those people just didn't know what else to do.
Yeah.
They didn't know any different or anything else, really.
A lot of people don't really understand mental health, do they? So that's where that comes from, really. But yeah, I mean, interesting there that Brandy's written about the drawing. I mean, that's amazing, Brandy, because something you like, even if it's a one-off thing or a very quick thing during a day, is one of those small steps that we're talking about.
Yeah.
You might not see that, you might not feel that right now, but eventually you look back and think, yeah, that drawing really did help me get over my shit feeling, or looking down on myself because I had a day doing nothing or whatever. So yeah, that self-awareness stuff is really, really important, isn't it?
Yeah. No.
And
is there
I
anything
learned that from you, by the way.
Is there anything during that time that you wished someone had done or said?
Oh, loads. I'd have wished. I keep saying, like, oh, why didn't my mum and my sister bang the door down and drag me out the bed? I'm better than that. But life's not like that, is it? Because if they had, I probably would have pushed them off.
Yeah.
It could have got violent, who knows, And I mean, at the end of the day, it's down to you as a person, and only you can fix it. Only you can get an addiction out the way, whether it's alcohol, cigarettes, shopping. You've got to want to make that change. Nobody can tell you to do it. Well, they can, but it's got to be you. It's got to be internal, isn't it?
Yeah.
And that's the starting point. I mean, the losing the alcohol thing. Get off, Dexter, please. Off. That was huge to me because I suddenly could get up in the morning and I could drive, I could go to the shop to get my milk, or I just felt free. I didn't need to, but I felt free as a bird. I had freedom all of a sudden.
Yeah.
That's amazing, isn't it? I mean, I still feel like that even now, mind. I love coming in and putting the kettle on, and I almost chuckle to myself and think, yeah, what would you have done? You know, I would have gone straight to the fridge for a glass of wine.
Yeah, but I think as well, like, and I might have said to you during that time as well, it's a lot of people concentrate on, you know, if they're kind of moving away from something, it's what they're losing or what they're giving up and things, which, whether it's a negative thing or a positive, automatically we're kind of programmed to see losing, giving up as a negative thing.
Yeah.
So even if we're on a diet and we're thinking about losing weight, we talk about losing weight. So it's contradictory, really, because we feel that it's good for us, but our brain is going, well, you're losing something here. It's
Yeah.
So I think we had discussions at the time of where it's, you know, look at what you're gaining, and you've obviously gained so much from moving away from what you was doing and where you were. And I think it's always good, like, without asking you whether you are or not now and things, but I'm kind of guessing that there's probably times of where, or I'd encourage anyone to reflect on what they are gaining and focus and reflect on their progress, even on that journey, because it is an ongoing thing. But it's good to have a pause and look around at the scenery to kind of see how far you've come. And you today buying a new car and things like that.
Well, I know. I mean, I couldn't get credit 5 years ago because that guy brought a load of debt to my door and I was up to there with it. I've literally like turned everything, you know. But like when I go away on my little travels, you know, I've gone from an all-inclusive where you can drink and it's on tap and all of that stuff, which, you know, is still nice, isn't it, to know you want it. If it's there, you can have it. The holiday I just come back from, I mean, I probably had 1, maybe 2 drinks the whole time I was there, because it's just not something I look for. And I love that feeling. I love going to the bar. So you can have a bottle of water, please.
Yeah.
It makes me feel I got power, I got control.
Yeah.
If I wanted to have a drink, I would, because I'm on my holiday and I'm not, you know, I'll have 1 or 2, and generally I'm drunk. Like, I can't, my body, I don't know if my body's rejecting it even, I don't know, but I don't look for any more. If I have a drink, 1 or 2 is it, which is bizarre, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's strange as well, because you can be on like a certain level where, you know, you are active, you are getting up, you are doing things, you don't feel like you need something to kind of help you or replace you, or, you know, kind of try to kind of divert you or distract you from your problems or issues. But it literally can be like a little drop of like 1 or 2% that just brings you underneath that normal line of where we are, that makes us feel absolutely awful and terrible and miserable and down and low, where then that little drop can then change things, of where we sort of think, well, you know, well, shall I have a drink, or shall I stay in bed, or shall I do something out, you know?
Yeah.
Not as positive. You know, food's a big one. A lot of people will eat more and stuff.
Yeah.
So, but it's strange how that little difference in how we feel can kind of affect us. There's actually some people there that, you know, have learned that they just can't have 1 or 2 drinks, you know, no matter how long they haven't drunk for. Where it seems to be is that you've got that control.
Totally.
There and things. And,
I don't even like how it makes me feel. No. I went to a local band recently, and of course everyone's drinking, so I had a couple of glasses of wine, and I had more than the 2. It was 3 or 4, I think. And I come home, I was sick. I was actually physically sick, and there was no reason for that, because I'd eaten and the food was fine.
Yeah.
And I laughed. And when I told my mum the next day, she said, it's probably your body telling you, you don't. I didn't enjoy it. I didn't like how it made me feel. I felt like I'd lost control again. Like, you know, you get that light feeling.
Yeah.
Your inhibitions go and you feel a bit lightheaded. I didn't enjoy that feeling.
No.
And that I love that. I love the fact that I don't want that feeling. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um,
And
you have a drink now because of anything around you. Not necessarily. So I've gone out. It's a good question, though, Squishy. I've gone out to similar to what I went to the other week, and they're drinking, and I've been Des. I've been taxi, you know, or I've just like called in for one, show my face, and driven home because I can then, which is nice. And I'm invited to so many things now. My social life is huge, which is such a contrast to what it was when I wasn't even seeing my family because I wouldn't go to bed. But I sometimes I'm just tired and I need time for me. I'll just go show my face, be grateful because I've been invited, and you know people think about me, and then I can drive, I can come home. I haven't got a. Do you know what I mean? It's kind of.
yeah, definitely.
I can't tell you how lovely that feels. I can't express it enough because when you feel like you need a drink to just talk or you need a drink to have fun, you're owned by that alcohol.
Yeah.
When you're no longer owned by it, you own everything.
Yeah.
It's just total freedom, isn't it? I love that feeling.
Yeah.
I'm saying all of that, but I know I'm very lucky that I've managed to do what I've done, and not everybody can, Matt. Like you said, some people, if they have one, they just want to keep going. I got a friend who's recently gone sober, and you know she had one or two, and she just couldn't stop because she wants, you know. And I said, well, look, don't write that off as I'm back where I was. That was a blip. Wake up tomorrow, start again. It's fine. You know, blips can happen. That's fine, but don't put yourself back there just because you had one night on it, you know? Whereas that didn't happen to me. I had two, and I was like, oh, no, I didn't want any more, like.
No.
I am lucky, I suppose.
Well, it's you know, we are all different, and I think as well different mindsets and moods and things have a. But it does sound like your body kind of has sort of said, "I've had enough of that," as well.
Yeah, I think it did.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah. As I know, obviously, is there any funny moments over like the last years of where like you would sort of recall?
Oh, bless you, Brandy. Sorry, go on. Sorry.
Is there any sort of funny moments where you kind of look back now and think, wow, like you know that, you know, although that was really difficult,
Oh.
it was quite hard.
Lots of being on here when I'd had a drink. Lots. Loads.
Yeah.
So, and I was reckless. I met two, so I've been single since my divorce, but I've had two men in my house who I didn't know.
Yeah.
I met them on a dating app. Early hours in the morning, said, yeah, you can come around, give them my address, and they came here.
Right.
I mean, my mum doesn't know that, mind. I hope she's not watching.
Yeah.
But that is reckless.
Yeah. Yeah.
One of those situations didn't go very well either, and it did scare me a little. But not bad. No, it's not a bad thing. I made that sound worse than what it is. But there was another time where a good friend of mine who, you know, when you have a friend that's a bit of a benefit from time to time, I think he enjoyed the Kath who was drinking a lot.
Yeah.
Because you lose your inhibitions and you just go with the flow. And, you know, and I was on a TikTok when he came. It was 2ish, 3 in the morning. And it makes me laugh now. I cringe when I hear the song. You know, Queen, I Want to Break Free, and he got a Hoover. Yeah. So I had it on the TV, and this guy, I'm not going to say a name, he's there with a Hoover, and my TikTok I had like 200 people in the room.
Yeah.
They were all commenting, saying, you pair are hilarious. Well, we were off our face.
Yeah.
And then he disappeared and went upstairs, and they're all saying, go on upstairs, he's waiting for you. And to me, it was all entertainment, but that's not me. No. I'm a very private person with things like that, and I'm like, I don't know, I wouldn't do that. That's not the behaviour that I would normally, I wouldn't conduct myself that way, and he knows that. He took full advantage of the alcohol.
Well, that is the thing about this app as well, isn't it? Because when you scroll through, you know, there's certain characters on here that are really well known because that is their day to day.
Yeah.
Life, isn't it? And really, those people have gained an audience that it's like watching Formula One waiting for a car crash to kind of happen. It's quite often what they're waiting for, isn't it? And looking for,
Yeah,
the people there themselves,
I
obviously,
know.
it's funny or so, yeah. It's
I think I fell asleep on one live.
is it, oh, yeah, I remember. Yeah, I remember one where
Oh
you.
God. And I remember waking up, I didn't have a clue where I was or what was happening, and it was all on live.
Yeah, Brandy, no
Oh,
comment.
I know. I look back and I cringe, but it makes me giggle because, okay, I was unwell at the time. That's the way I'm looking at it. I lost my marbles for a little while, which we all do, I guess.
Yeah.
But it won't be happening again. So I won't be having the Hoover and Freddie Mercury on telly again.
I think the thing is, isn't it? Like I'm always encouraging people because people will walk away from the situations thinking, that was absolutely dreadful. It was awful. What on earth was that about? A loss, whatever it was. And I always try to encourage them if I can talk to them to sort of remind them that there is lessons there somewhere, like really important lessons in those really,
Yeah,
dreadful
definitely. Yeah.
times. And some people have said, like, how on earth is there a lesson in this? Like, look what's happened to me and things. But then a lot of months later, even a few years later, they've said, you was right. There was a big lesson in there actually. But it's very hard to see.
My sister and my cousin are in the chat.
I was just going to ask you because you've mentioned your mum a few times. So I said, I was going to ask you. There must be a few people other than yourself that are proud of.
Oh, totally. My family are all really proud of me. My sister writes little soppy things to me sometimes. Like I said to you, my sister and my mum thought that they were going to a funeral. They couldn't. They thought I was never coming back from it. I thought I was never coming out of it. I can't believe I was employable. And now look, the job I've got. I mean, I'll never make that mistake again. And my family can see it. And I think sometimes they're a little bit like earlier on, I was at my mum's, my sister was there. She got a little baby girl. And I said, oh, she reminds me of my granddaughter who I've not met. And my sister's like, oh, well, I thought that, but I didn't want to upset you.
Yeah.
A couple of years ago, that would have been enough for me to come home and go to bed and stay there because I couldn't cope. Now I think, oh, yeah, it's hurtful, but it's also beautiful, isn't it? Because I can give that love to my little niece.
Yes.
And, I mean, it is heartbreaking. It is. But at the same time, I'm not going to sit and cry about it. Those little girls will know me one day. And when they get to meet me, they're going to love me like everybody else does. I know that. And I know my daughter knows that. It's all going to take time, isn't it?
Yeah, no,
My
definitely. And I
sister.
think, like when you've got people saying you're an inspiration, and things, you have been to us as well. That's the thing.
That's my sister, Matt. That's my sister there.
It's-
She's the good-looking one in the family.
but it's like I know, like this evening, I've mentioned it the other day. My nephew is at an event tonight talking about an illness that he's got, which is called achalasia, which is really rare. It's kind of quite unknown, really. So it's all about bringing awareness to that. And they've got. So obviously, I'm up north, they're down south, so I couldn't get down to kind of go with them. But they've got like a premiere of this program that he's been a part of to bring awareness to this. And when you, like I am, he's been a real inspiration to me. He was born kind of I knew he was expected during a difficult time that I had like 15 odd years ago and stuff. And I haven't really said this before, but he was someone, even without being born, that I sat there thinking I need to be around for when he's here. And I know how that kind of helped me. And when you've got sisters, brothers, mums and things, and they're then able to say, you're an inspiration and things, it's huge. And I think as well, what I've found, and I'm sure that you have or will do if you haven't already, is that your experiences like now will help other people, and even whether it's just a general conversation with someone at work or something like that, or every day. It's amazing how just by talking over your experience, the difference it can make to other people. And I'm sure, sort of, people listening tonight again as well.
I hope so. And like you said, if it helps one person, job done, isn't it? Because that was me a couple of years ago, and yeah, and so I'm the mental health first aider in work, but
Yeah.
I'm going to get all staff through that if I can.
Mm.
Because I think there's that level of awareness of mental health. People think it's just mental health is depression, doom and gloom. Mental health is a spectrum
Yeah.
of how your mind works, and you could be there one day and there the next. It's not always a negative thing. And I think people need to realise that. So I follow you with this, Matt. I am a big advocate for mental health and talking and, signposting to professionals and that kind of thing, which is why I'm really grateful to be invited into this again. I know you've had me before, but before I would have had wine or whatever.
Well, we've kind of like had a spectrum really of CAF. So it's right.
You've had it all. I know.
No, it's
You've
pretty
seen me at 7 in the morning.
Well, you introduced me to Jesus as well, so that's,
Oh, I know.
so,
He follows me around. Yeah, I'm in another group, a local group to where I live, and we're all going to meet up quite soon.
brilliant.
And he comes in there as well, and he's just lovely. Jesus is, isn't he?
I'm surprised he isn't here, but we know he's everywhere, so he'll be listening and watching.
He'll be with us somewhere.
Yeah.
Thank you, Brandy.
Yeah.
You guys are amazing. I love your little community, Matt.
No, it's you're a huge part of it and things as well. What's next for you? What's next on the list of things you want to achieve and the journey?
I just need 6 months or so to get my feet under that table now as the head of the council. And so I'm not going on any holidays for 6 months. That's going to kill me. Because I like my travel.
Here that will make.
I know. Well, yeah, it'll be our summer, so it shouldn't be too bad. Obviously, my long-term goal is to have my family in my life, but I'm not putting life on hold till that happens. I'm just going to keep proving to my girls that I'm a good person. I've turned my life around, and eventually, my life will be more fulfilled. But the job I've got is quite demanding, and I'm full-time, so I'm probably just going to spend 6 months doing that.
Yeah.
I'll go away later in the year, but I just want to embrace it and enjoy it, because, life is precious. None of us are promised tomorrow, are we?
No, definitely.
I know things happen, people become ill, we lose parents. There's going to be a lot of things in the future that I need to be ready for. And I just want to continue with my strength and, my confidence building. I almost feel like I can face anything right now, but I know that won't stay, that will be challenged at some point.
As you was talking again, it just brings things up for me. So, but and what I had on my mind was most of the time, many of the times you go through these experiences and they do prepare you for other things in the future. And the what I experienced years ago has definitely even helped me recently, where I literally kind of sat there some days thinking, you know what, you've kind of experienced this in the past, that if you can get through that, then you can get through anything.
Yeah.
And it does give you it's a bit hard to explain for anyone who hasn't been through it. My experience was quite different. It was through loss and some other things that was kind of going on at the time. Like substances, drink, things like that. I had no interest in those anyway, so I was very lucky that way, that that wasn't added to it in any way. Yeah. It was just a really difficult sort of time, and there was some funny things. That's the reason I asked you, was that there were some funny things that happened during that time that I didn't realise were funny until afterwards, when I kind of look back. Okay. The recklessness I can really kind of relate to, because I think you're still kind of searching and you want a little bit of help and from somewhere, but you're not sure where you're going to get it from, and you do as well. There's bits of you of, well, this situation isn't changing at the minute, so can I create something that changes it, whether it's good, bad, whatever. So so that kind of I can really relate to that. But I'd certainly now, there was a change where in some ways I felt a little bit weaker, but then in so many other new ways I felt so much stronger. I'm very aware of myself and how to look after myself now.
Yeah. Yeah.
And first of all, I thought that was a weakness, because I thought, oh, you're really aware that you have to look after you, but it's not. That's a strength.
Of course, it's a strength. Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
But I think it takes a little bit of time for that to kind of make sense. But then once you kind of have had that bit of time to reflect on a time and a period like that, it's like putting on a bit of a suit of armor, because it really does feel that even though you feel certain things during other difficult situations, you know that you've got a different skill set and new tools to kind of manage it, really.
It's a bit like the example of the baby earlier, and my mum, like at Christmas, I think she's a bit afraid to mention children, grandchildren, all that kind of thing. And it is a very sensitive situation. And I sometimes don't know how I get through those days. I really don't. I don't want to sit there crying. I don't want to put myself away and make everybody feel uncomfortable. So I just plow through the best way I can. And if I need to cry, I'll go and cry privately, and we get through it. Yeah. But I think the word for me is hope. Perhaps before I didn't have the skills to think rationally, because I wasn't thinking, was I? The alcohol was doing that for me. Yeah. Now I think, I rationalise it, I accept it. If I feel down, I'll just say, oh, I'm having a crap day, or, oh, just give me 10 minutes, but that hope, it's a strong word, much stronger than what people think. I know I can get through it because I've come through all of this. I can pretty much do anything, can't I? That's how I feel. Because I'm still grieving my girls. I know they're not past, thankfully. I'm very fortunate for that. But there is that sense of loss that's always with me every day. I mean, I wake up, it's the first thing I think of. I go to bed, it's the last thing on my mind. It's constant, and there's pictures and reminders everywhere, because that's how I want it to be. I went through a phase where I couldn't look at a picture. And I see all of that as the journey and the learning. And now I'm equipped with the skills to look at a picture, feel a sense of pride. Yeah. Because my daughters are my daughters, and I think I was a good mum when they were at home and they were young. And also, proud that they're going on in life and they're doing amazing without me, because I couldn't have without my mum. Yeah. So I feel pride, and I don't look at it as negative. I try and see the positive. And I always remind myself, look, if you can come through what you've come through, you've got hope for anything. Does that make sense? Hope. That word to me is everything, really.
No, definitely. And the thing is, it is, isn't it? I've used it a lot recently. Any storm, ends at some time with sunshine again. And
yeah.
But when you're in that situation at a certain point, it'd be very hard to kind of, remember that. And I hope that even if it's one person that might be listening that, might be having a rough time at the moment of, things do get better, and it things do change. It does come to an end, and there is sunshine and other things that kind of come along afterwards. Yeah. I think it is, though, it's like what you've said, those small steps are so important, trying to do something a little bit different today than what you did yesterday, just to kind of try to change that cycle, isn't it?
Yeah. My sister's just commented that, right? She says I'm an inspiration. I think she's an inspiration.
Yeah.
I can't say too much because it's not my story to tell, but she's really struggling. Right. And she's got diagnoses on, in the mental health world. She's really strong to me because she admits it, and she says, yeah, but that's because of my condition. Yeah. And that takes a lot of guts.
Yeah.
It's a personality disorder, right? And a lot of people will never admit that, will they? But she's got a teenager who's 14, a 10-year-old, an 18-month-old, and now a new baby.
Wow.
And she's running a house. Her husband's a chef. They're doing amazing. And I mean, that is harder work than what I'm doing, let me tell you.
All those little ones as well, but
and the children are all beautiful, and she's blessed with good-looking children and everything, and they're all healthy. And her eldest son's he's autistic, and there's issues around that, but she manages it beautifully.
Yeah.
None of us can manage the situation with this person, with him, my nephew. Only Sam is amazing. I'm in awe of that. So she thinks I'm an inspiration. I look at her and I think, how do you get through every day dealing with everything that's on your plate?
Yeah. Well, I hope as well that Samantha's takes time out to kind of
She
just
doesn't, Matt. She
yeah
doesn't. She'll
no.
do well speaking to you, I reckon.
It is anyone. It's we do what we do, and we don't kind of often kind of reflect on what we are doing and give ourselves some credit for. We always look at the things that we think that we should be doing, like, oh, I should be at work full time, or I should be concentrating on helping someone else, or I should be doing this and that. And it's easy to kind of forget what we've been managing
What
for
we
a
are
while,
doing. Yeah.
what we are doing and what we have doing. I personally don't think there's much greater than being able to bring up young people to be decent
Yeah.
human members of the community, and just being able to look after their health and safety. It's such an important job.
Especially in today's society, because it's very
Yeah,
different to when I brought my girls up.
yeah,
And I don't know if I would have been able to have done it really, because it's very, very different. You know, because you've got little ones. Sorry, I've had to plug my phone in. The battery's about to die.
what? Because I was gonna try. I knew we'd probably go over a little bit with yourself. But yeah, because we're good to doing these hours like every other Friday. It'd probably be. But
Yeah.
what would be one of your messages that you'd want to pass on to anybody who, for any reason, really? I was going to say kind of experiencing anything similar, but it's your choice. What would be a message of yours to pass on to someone else from where you are at the moment?
I just think anything is possible, even when you think it's not. It's still possible.
Yeah,
I can't. I mean, it's quite simple for me, isn't it? Like, it wasn't possible for me. I thought that was it, and look at me. It's living proof, and there is a lack of services as we know, but TikTok's a great platform for finding some support networks. I've certainly taken a lot from TikTok, and well, as I've already mentioned, mainly through you, Matt, and your little community. But yeah, I mean, hope and anything is possible. I used to say in the group chat, every day's a learning day. It's very true.
yeah,
Every single day is a new day. It's a learning day, isn't it?
yeah. No,
You
I
asked
love
me for
that.
one thing, and now I've given you three.
No, but they're all connected, and I love that as well because it kind of matches with my philosophy a little bit, my own one, which I've mentioned on here. It is a journey, it's an adventure, and the biggest thing I ever done really as a late teenager was just to kind of realise that myself. I remember the moment and everything else where I just thought, you know what, this is an adventure. There's going to be highs, there's going to be lows. So it is a roller coaster. Life's a roller coaster, but there
Yeah.
is always lessons to be learned from everything.
Always. Yeah.
Mainly, the biggest lessons come from the hardest times normally,
Yeah.
unfortunately. But it is an adventure and a journey, and I hope that makes sense to people because as soon as I realised that, it really changed my mindset.
Yeah. Yeah.
I stopped
I
getting
agree.
down on stuff. I stopped sort of feeling guilty if I didn't do something.
Yeah.
And I kind of looked at it's not always easy because the first thing is that we react like with those emotions, but if you can kind of take a little bit of a step back, it's like, well, what's the lesson to be learned here? And there's always one there somewhere. But yeah,
Brandy.
you've
Brandy, Squishy, you're all amazing. Thank you all so much for all your support, and all of you, as I said, along with Matt. You were all part of that journey with me. All of you. You sound like an inspiration, Matt. He is, Sam. This is the guy I was telling you and Mum about a few years back. Tried to get me to start swimming, to get me out of bed.
You ain't swimming yet.
I still haven't been.
That worked, didn't it?
My next thing is to get a bit fitter. So I bought new trainers this week so I can walk to work and start some fitness, because I've noticed now I've turned 50. Oh, everything's harder, isn't it? Everything.
Yeah. I was saying the other night, like when I turned 30, I was waiting to turn 30 and I thought, you know what, this is going to feel awful in a few days' time. That it wasn't at all like that. That was as though I hadn't had a birthday. 40, I kind of come up to 40 thinking, oh, it must be 40 when you feel really rough and old, and I didn't. And then 50, I kind of thought, oh, well, I felt that about 30, 40. I'm going to be okay like this year. And it wasn't. It was like overnight, I woke up, my knees didn't work. I had aches where I'd not been today. Yeah, and it all changed overnight. So, yeah.
I have noticed it. Everything feels harder physically, like,
Yeah.
but so yeah, I'm going to try and get a bit healthier, but yeah, the mind is healthy now, the body's turn.
Yeah, no, it's a shame, isn't it, that sometimes we get a bit wiser when we haven't got the energy to use it sometimes in the way we want to. So, but
Yeah.
we're all doing it. Kath, thank you so much for coming on. I'm really pleased that you was able to be the first person on this bit of a relaunching. Yeah, and I'm sure that we'll catch